Good people of YouTube, my name is Spanner, welcome back to another episode of Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. And this is the screen for our, well, we have a preparation. Pre-trial prep, open e-handbook. Okay, you can review the evidence, blah 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 blah, we know the evidence. You can set skills. Oh, even though Sayaka is dead, we can use a skill. We can use her melodious voice battle. Effective during the bullet time battle? What stuff? I have no idea what these are. Effective during the non-stop debate and the Hangsman Gambit. Well, debate, there's no point in me not selecting all the skills. Okay, skills are still set. Class trial. All rise. Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial, so your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. And the killer really is one of us, right? Of course. Okay then, everyone close your eyes, and whoever did it, raise your hands. Don't be a goddamn idiot. Why the hell would they raise their hands? Before we move on and start the trial, can I ask a question real quick? What's going on with those pictures? I'd feel awful if they got left out just because they died. Friendship penetrates even death's barrier. Friendship penetrates? Okay, but what about that other empty seat? There were only 15 of us to begin with, so why are there 16 seats? Oh, no reason. It's just that our little courtroom here can technically fit up to 16 people. Okay, what about that about does it for the preamble. Get ready to get started. First up is the case summary. Now let the class trial begin. I am very suspicious of that extra seat. It's about to begin the debate to decide who we think the killer is. Anything I found out, anything I noticed, I have to be ready to speak up about everything. Okay, so we're about to engage in the trial. I think I've grown tired of this voice. I'm tired, so I think I'm just going to talk like this right now. It's a bit faster, so you can get things along, since there's a lot of dialogue here. And we're about to be total badass in the trial, right? So you gotta change the voice like this. Although I'm a bit unsure if it's a bit closer to Mondo's. What's Mondo's voice? Yeah, Mondo's voice. Mondo's voice is like this, but I speak like this in a more whispered tone, like a cool guy, which I totally am not. But I'll do it anyway, because speaking like this takes a lot of time, and I just can't be bothered right now. Okay, because this isn't just about me. Everyone's lives are on the line. Okay, my first non-stop debate is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Absolutely. As things progress during each class trial, you will engage in a number of non-stop debates. During these discussions, characters will speak one after another without pause. It's up to you to unearth any lies or contradictions buried within their statements. What this means is that you'll have to use your truth bullets to refute what they say. Any relevant truth bullets you found during your investigation will be loaded into the truth cylinder, Use the WASD keys to aim, then fire with the left mouse button. Pay close attention to each character's statements and use your truth bullets to blast the right ones. Note that if you run out of time, you will automatically fail, so please be careful. If you press the escape key during these arguments, you can review the controls. Well then, good luck and have fun. Okay, make your argument. Evidence of a struggle. I assert that the one who was murdered was Miss Sayaka Maizono. Yeah, we know that part already. And the murder took place in Makoto's room. In the bathroom. So it seems most likely that the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bed. No. How do I do this? There's something odd about that last statement. It definitely contradicts what I already know. For this first debate, we'd like to take a quick sidebar. If you're unable to spot and refute someone's lies or contradictions, the argument will repeat. Within a group of statements, some words appear in a different color. Did you happen to notice? That represents a potential hole in a person's statement, a possible weak spot. These weak spots reveal important, though not always inaccurate, sections of a person's statement. Your truth bullets are only effective against these weak spots. So when you see one come up, take aim and fire, but only if you're sure it's actually wrong. And also you can fast forward an argument by holding down the shift key. Well then, good luck and have fun. Oh, I assert that the one who was murdered was blah blah blah. Okay, we know that part already. Yeah, the murder took place in my room, yes. In the bathroom. Seems most likely that the killer must have taken... No, not by surprise! Shoot! She didn't even have a chance... No! Shoot her! Oh, wait. If you choose the wrong statement or truth bullet, you will take damage. If your influence gauge reaches 0, that will end the case. Focus gauge. This determines how much concentration you can do. By holding down spacebar, you can concentrate down the passage of time. This will consume your focus gauge, and you can't concentrate when it's empty. When a character is talking, some text may appear in yellow. This is their weak spot, and it represents a potential lie or contradiction in their argument. Multiple weak spots may appear, and it's up to you to figure out the right one and attack it. Press the left mouse button to fire whatever truth bullet you have loaded. Move the mouse wheel up or down to select a truth bullet. If you quickly press the Q key, truth bullets will automatically loaded according to their order. If you target the weak spot and then hold down the left mouse button, you can use that weak spot as a temporary truth bullet later in the argument. These flashback bullets will disappear as soon as you use them or switch to another truth bullets. Silencer. You can eliminate white noise with your silencer by targeting it and press the right mouse button. If you successfully eliminate white noise this way, your timer will increase. However, if you shoot something else, you will lose time. This is incredibly complicated. I can't choose another bullet. Shoot the damn thing. No, evidence, shoot the evidence of a struggle. Chance to resist is in yellow. What am I doing wrong? Yes, shoot. I'm shooting, but it's not working. It's not doing anything. I do not understand. Do I need to shoot the yellow text? Oh! Objection! Just a second, Chihiro. Try to remember how my room looked. With the way things had been damaged, I think we can definitely assume there was a struggle. A struggle? Between who and who? Between Sayaka and the killer, of course. So you're saying Sayaka wasn't caught by surprise in the bathroom? She must have been attacked in the main room first, then she ran to the bathroom to try and hide. The killer followed her in, and that's where they finished the job. That much should have been obvious after taking one look at the scene. It shouldn't even need explaining. Sorry. Okay, so what's next? Next is the subject of the murder weapon. Wow, this is starting to look like a real trial. We need to determine what was used to kill Sayaka. Well, I know that. Kitchen knife sets. That's what we have. That's our bullet now. So what was used to kill her? There was some kind of sharp object thrust into her stomach. Without a doubt, that is the murder weapon. So the killer used some random knife they had. No, not some random knife. How could anyone do something like that? That son of a bitch. Hold on, I feel like what I just heard is different from what I already know. Okay, I'm not liking the voice I'm doing. It's too similar to Mondo's. So I think I'll just do the same. Even though this is a bit fast-paced for that voice, but whatever. Okay, blah 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 blah. Not some random knife, dudes. Objection! No, I do not think it was a knife, but I do think it was a knife, but not just any knife. I'm almost positive it was a kitchen knife. Huh? A kitchen knife? After the murder, we discovered that one of the knives from the kitchen was missing. Which means that knife must be the murder weapon. Oh yeah, I guess it makes sense. You could sort of see the weapon sticking out of her stomach. And if you look real close, I could totally see that being a kitchen knife. Okay, so the murder weapon was a kitchen knife. But where does that get us? I mean, we all know Makoto killed her, right? That's right, Makoto's room was the scene of the crimes. What more proof do you need? Hold on a second, Let's draw our conclusions after we've presented our arguments. Otherwise, what's the point of the trial? Well, you can talk all we want, it's not gonna change that conclusion. So are you the killer or not? I'm getting mixed feelings here. I don't think that's true at all. I'm sure if you keep at it, something new will reveal itself. You really believe that? She's right. There's gotta be a breakthrough somewhere just waiting for us to find it. Because I know damn well I'm not the killer. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Yes, I'd like to hear more. You can concentrate by holding down spacebar. While you're concentrating, time will slow down so you can pay closer attention to what everyone's saying. On top of that, it'll steady your aim, making it easier to target potential weak spots. Concentrating like this consumes the focus gauge, and if this gauge empties, you can't concentrate. But the focus gauge will recover over time, so let your brain take a rest, no need to rush. Well then, good luck and have fun. Aoi's account. Okay, this is our bullet. So, I thought we had to change bullets, but we just have one at a time, so I guess there's no question that the kitchen knife was the murder weapon. But where does that get us? Makoto must have taken it from the kitchen, right? He did it in secret when nobody's in the dining hall? Shoot! Bam! Objection! Okay, wait, hold on. I didn't take the knife from the kitchen. Next you're gonna say you're not the killer, right? Go ahead and say it all you want. Well, what if I have a witness? What do you think, Hina? Huh? Remember what you were telling me earlier? Well, I went to get some tea from the kitchen last night and all the knives were still there. But when I finished my tea and went back into the kitchen to wash my glass, one of the knives was gone. So you're saying the knife disappeared while you were drinking your tea in the dining hall? Yeah. Just to be perfectly clear, the knife disappeared while you were in the dining hall, correct? Yeah, that's right. And at any point while you were there, did you ever see me come into the dining hall? No, I don't think so. You don't think so? No, he definitely wasn't there. The knife disappeared while Hina was in the dining hall, but I wasn't there the entire time. In other words, there's no way I could have taken the knife. Okay, then what about this? What if the idiot swimmer girl and Makoto are in on it together and lying to protect each other? Idiot swimmer girl? Oh, and more importantly, why would I get involved in something like that? Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the pair if there is an accomplice. Do they also become blackened? So you ask and so I shall answer. Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate. So in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it. Then there's no way anyone will work together, right? But what if they did work together and they just didn't know about the rule? Oh, good grief, enough already, no, okay. There are no accomplices in this case. Whoops, did I say that out loud? Anyway, I didn't go to the dining hall and I didn't take the knife. So I'm not the killer. Okay, so then, who did take the knife? Hina seems to be the obvious candidate after all. She just said she was in the dining hall. No way, I swear it wasn't me. Sure, but can you or anyone else prove that? I can. That's right, Sakura was with me the entire time I was drinking my tea. I hate to have to ask, but just to be sure, Sakura's me. Right. But then, couldn't either one of them have grabbed the knife? Actually, no, because well, just spit it out already. I stayed in Hina's room last night. I got so scared thanks to those creepy videos. I wasn't really thinking, I just asked her to stay over. Which means we have airtight alibis. You stayed over. Doesn't that violate one of the school regulations? We're not allowed to sleep anywhere but the dorms, but it doesn't say we have to stay in our assigned room. So I don't think that's a problem. It is a problem. A boy and a girl spending the night together. It's unwholesome. But I'm a girl. What? You are? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. But if it wasn't either of you, then what other possibility is there? Actually, there is one other possibility, right, Hina? Oh yeah, that's true. One other person did come to the dining hall while we were there. Why didn't you say so in the first place? Well, because they're not here anymore. Someone who's not here? Are you talking about? Sayaka, she's the one who came to the dining hall, and then later she wound up dead, so maybe the knife was Sayaka's? She took it for protection or something? Sayaka? Okay, so the person who took the knife from the kitchen was Sayaka. then Sayaka is the one who took the knife? That's the only possibility. And thinking back on it, she was acting kind of unusual. When she came into the dining hall, she didn't even look at us. She just went straight to the kitchen. As she left, she said she just wanted a drink of water, but most likely, then the person who took the knife was the victim herself. I'm sure she just took it for self-defense. So you're saying the knife she took was then taken from her and she was killed with it? In that case, you may not have taken the knife, but you still could have killed her. What? See, he did do it after all. No, you're wrong. So that's how you would twist the argument and send us all off in the wrong direction. You possess a most terrifying talent. Damn, if I don't do something, they're gonna blame me for the murder. Don't they understand? If they convict me, everyone's gonna die. Hold on, it's still too early to decide conclusively that Makoto is the killer, wouldn't you say? Because you see, if the room did belong to the killer, then they did something most bewildering. And until we unravel that little mystery, you simply can't declare that he's the killer. Bewildering? What the hell are you talking about? Something was missing from the scene of the crime that by all rights should have been there. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Hangman's Gambit. My first Hangman's Gambit is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Sure. As things advance further in the class trial, the Hangman's Gambit will eventually take place. The point of this is to reveal an important phrase related to the incident in question. You'll have to reduce the phrase from the letters flying around and the letters already known. Complete the phrase by shooting down the flying letters in the right order. Use the mouse to aim, left mouse button to shoot the letters. If you shoot down the wrong letters, you'll suffer damage to your influence gauge. If this gauge reaches 0, you run out of time, you fail. Okay. Something that should have been at the scene, but wasn't. That must be the crucial point. If we can just figure out what that something is. What is it? Is it the hair? Hangman's Gambit. 4 letters. Okay, definitely hair. H, A. Yeah, hair. That was easy. That's right. There wasn't a single hair on the floor. So the culprit removed some evidence? Yes, and if I were the culprit, why would I need to get rid of all the hair in my own room? It wouldn't be unusual at all to find my hair at the crime scene, if the crime scene is in my room. The reason all the hair was gone was to remove any trace that Sayaka had ever been there. That makes sense, does it not? No. If that were the case, they would have had to do something about the body itself, not just her head. Ha ha ha, very true, very true. Okay, then why wasn't there any hair on the ground? The killer got rid of it all, of course, to remove any trace that they had been there. Wait, then that means... Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same. Then, Makoto isn't the culprit? But are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair? No, there are other reasons that prove why Makoto couldn't have done it. I would like to hear these reasons. Do you remember anything remarkable about the bathroom at the scene? Sayaka was attacked in the main room first, then fled into the bathroom, right? Yeah, when they ran after her, got into the bathroom and stabbed her. And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any trouble with it? What do you mean? It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom. There was clear evidence left behind. Do you remember, Makoto? The killer struggled getting into the bathroom, and the evidence that proves it is the doorknob. Evidence that the killer had trouble getting into the bathroom. You're talking about the doorknob, right? Huh? The doorknob? What doorknob? The doorknob for my bathroom. It was completely broken. See how the top part was unscrewed and the doorknob's about ready to fall off? Oh yeah, that's true. But what does it mean? In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up nearly removing the entire doorknob. This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner. It proves Makoto is beyond suspicion. So what, you're saying he wouldn't break the door in his own room? But if the only choice you have is to break it, you break it. There's nothing bewildering about it. You still don't see? Okay then. Let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. Hopefully that will help you understand. Kyoko said it was a bewildering act. I almost didn't notice it at first, but is that the key point here? There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Yes, let's hear more. From here on out, the number of weak spots will start going up. But no matter how many weak spots, there's essentially only one lie or contradiction in that debate. What I'm trying to say is not all weak spots you see are necessarily false. Use a truth bullet on the wrong one and not only will you fail to refute what they said, but you'll also lower your trust with everyone and your influence gauge will take damage. Okay, we know the influence gauge reaches 0, we fail. You'll have to rely on your own logic to determine which weak spots are actually lies or contradictions. Well then, good luck and have fun. Okay, I assume you have a bullet. Bathroom door frame. That's our bullet right now. The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room. That's true. She then fled into the bathroom. Then the killer ran after her, and they got into the bathroom. At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door, because Sayaka had locked it. No! She didn't lock it! No! And finally, the culprit had Sayaka cornered. And to finish the job, they stabbed her with the kitchen knife. It was you, wasn't it, Makoto? Admit it! We already know the answer. And this girl is really getting on my nerves. It's obvious that my bathroom door wouldn't open, but the real reason for that is... I guess, we will have... I guess this is our health. Is this our concentration, the little stars? No. Bam! Yeah, it's the stars, so... focus is just bullet time, basically. The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the only ones with locking bathrooms, right? Yes, now that you mention it, that is true. Then, why didn't your bathroom door open? Because it was stuck. Huh? What are you talking about? My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. Monokuma over there can testify to that. Yup, true as true can be. But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door... Hoo hoo hoo, that's not lucky at all. So the reason the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in. Okay, but why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place? Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms. The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime. One important detail? The switched plates. Something the killer didn't know. For some reason, they were convinced the door was locked, which means the important detail the killer didn't know was... Is that the crime took place in my room? The killer must not have realized that it was my room.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was? That's inconceivable.
And yet he's absolutely right.
What? Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms, which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room, then there would have been a lock on the door and they would have had to break through. So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were. Ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident, but the killer must have been considerably confused with no idea how they actually got the door opened. Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right? That is a definite possibility. So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms? And Makoto couldn't have done it? That's what I've been trying to tell you. Okay, then who did it?
I'm sorry, but I give up. Quit without saving.
But what happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
Well then, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules. Majority rules. Do you really think that's a good idea?
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something, for serious. Does no one have any other thoughts or questions? It does not matter how trivial they may seem. Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question. Oh, you. You don't gotta sound so disappointed. It's fine, just ask your question. Oh, yeah, okay, so, well, I was just wondering how the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place. Yes, how did the killer get inside? Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right? I don't think so, that seems way too convenient. Then maybe someone picked the lock? Negative. If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Fine, how about this? The killer got in the easy way. They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Miss Maizono just let him in.
No, that can't be either.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place. Hello? Why exactly can't that be it?
The reason there's no way Sayaka invited her killer into the room. I already have the answer. Do I? Is it the switching rooms? Or is it the nameplates? Damn, I don't know now. Switching rooms? She had the key, maybe the whole story about switching the rooms? Because Sayaka was already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place. The same goes for you, Sayaka. No matter who it is, don't open your door for anyone. Even if I'm sure it's you, I absolutely won't open it. Otherwise, what's the point of even switching? Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
What if her being scared was a lie?
Huh? What the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
There's something I want to talk to you about. Just us two. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
I found a notepad during my search and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil. And these are the words that appeared. Oh man, I totally seen people do that on detective shows. When you write, it can leave an imprint, sketch over the next sheet of paper and you can see the words. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap, I better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on. It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes. Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room.
Huh?
Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it. Then either it was Makoto, who lived there, or Sayaka, who switched rooms for a single night. So, Makoto, did you write this?
No, I didn't, but...
Of course you didn't, because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature, Sayaka's signature.
Then that note, Sayaka wrote it? But why? Why would she write that?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret. If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist? Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happens. Huh? What makes you say that? Would you like to hear what I have to say? Very well then, pay attention.
Oh, more bullets. Dorm nameplates.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room. I see, so if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room. Exactly, the room that Makoto was staying.
Wait, shoot this one. Objection!
The nameplates on my and Sayaka's rooms got switched. They got switched.
That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's. So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her own.
Then, if someone didn't do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, the rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Right.
Okay, then who did it?
There's only one person who could have switched the nameplates. Sayaka herself. Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates was Sayaka.
You can also infer as much from her notes. There's something I want to talk to you about, just us two. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay? She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
What?
Inviting someone to your room but not telling them you switched rooms, why would anyone do that? To understand that, we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room. That's where the answer lies. What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and attacked her. We figured it out, we know who did it. Whoever she invited over is the culprit.
But we still don't know who it is, you goddamn idiots. Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes? Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right. Then we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
That reminds me, there was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight? Oh yeah, what's the deal with that sword? Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself. It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
The reason I know Sayaka's wrist was broken with the fake sword is because
there's the golden thing. Where is it?
All you have to do is take a good look at her broken wrist and it should become pretty clear. Right there where her wrist is all swollen, there's something glittery there, see? Is that gold? It sure is, specifically the gold coating from the replica sword. You barely have to touch that stuff and it'll stick right to you. And there's some on her wrist because...
I got it, because she got hit with the sword right there on her wrist. I see, and so the truth draws ever closer.
Alright, then it's about time to solve this mystery. What happened in my room? And what led to Sayaka's death? That's what we need to make clear.
Wow, really more about non-stop debates, okay. Yes, I'm getting used to them. Starting with the next debate, I'll start loading multiple truth bullets into your truth cylinder. But just like with the weak spots, only one of those bullets can actually refute the proper statement. In other words, from here on out, you'll have to combine the right truth bullets with the right weak spots to refute each statement. If you come up with the wrong combination, you'll take damage to influence gauge. You can press the Q key to rotate the cylinder. Okay. By the way, if the logic difficulty is set to kind, fewer bullets will be loaded into the cylinder. For our purposes this time, the logic difficulty will be set to mean. Well, it is set to mean, since I chose it. Well then, good luck and have fun. So, multiple bullets. Let's listen to the arguments first. So we have replica sword sheath, the kitchen knife set, and replica swords. When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the swords. And that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack. No. And that's what broke Miss Mizuno's wrist. So she tried to fight back. She grabbed the kitchen knife she had hidden away. But then the culprit took that from her too, and they killed her with it. And that's exactly what happened. No, not exactly. No, the sword sheath had cuts on it. Replica sheath. The sword sheath had cuts, so it refutes this. Actually, no, I don't think the fight started with the swords. Huh, why not? Because the sword's sheath had been scratched. See, there's a gash in it, like someone cut into it with something sharp. Something sharp, you mean like the kitchen knife? That was the only sharp thing found at the scene. Stop jumping ahead, slow down and explain it so I get what the hell's going on. If the sword was used first, there wouldn't be any explanation for the scratch on the sheath. If you were going to attack with the sword, you take it out of the sheath first, right? That's true. With the sheath on, it'd be heavy and bulky and useless as shit. Okay, so how did the sheath get damaged? If they got attacked with a kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse. In that situation, there wouldn't be any time to actually unsheath the sword. So you're saying the sword was initially used to defend against an attack from the knife. Which means whoever had the kitchen knife was the one who attacked first. I think I get it. So here's how it all played out. The culprit came in, found the kitchen knife hidden there somewhere. Then they took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening. So she grabbed the sword to defend herself, but then the culprit took that from her too. Then after they broke her wrist with the sword, they took the knife and finished it. Sorry, but I don't think Sayaka used the sword to defend herself. She was the attacker, right? What? How the hell can you not think that? Because she never held the sword at all. There's a certain part of her body that makes this clear. Her palms were clean. The part of her body that shows she never used the sword. Her palms. You're talking about her palms, right? The palms of her hands were perfectly clean, so I don't think she ever picked up the sword. How can you know that just by looking at her palms? Like I said before, the gold coating on that sword comes right off. All you have to do is touch it. In fact, if you look, you'll notice that a lot of the gold has already come off the handle. It's safe to assume that's because whoever used the sword got some of it on their hands. There's really no way she could have picked it up and come away completely clean. Maybe she washed her hands after she escaped into the bathroom? Sorry, but I don't think so. Why do you say that? Is it because you think I'm ugly? No, that's not it at all. There's no way Sayaka washed the gold coating off her hands because the water was off. According to the Monokuma file, Sayaka's time of death was around 1:30 AM. In other words, at night time. And the water in the bathrooms shuts off at night time, right? Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know that. Actually, I haven't taken a shower here yet. Oh, we've been here for 4 days, dude. Oh my. No different. You smell like a big fat ugly donkey. I'm not sure whether to take that as an insult or a compliment. An insult, obviously. So anyway, if Sayaka never touched the sword, then that means the killer is the one who used the swords. But hold on, if that's right, then the one who damaged the sheath with the kitchen knife was... The one who damaged the sheath would have had to be the one without the sword. Sayaka? She had the kitchen knife? But we already said that the attack started with... The person with the knife attacked first and the sword was used as an impromptu defense. And the one who attacked first was... Sayaka? Now do you understand? She wasn't a blameless victim in this. No, far from it. It's almost as if she had been planning to commit a murder of her own. What? She took the knife from the kitchen, then invited the culprit to the room she was staying in. And if it's true that she had the kitchen knife and attacked without provocation?
Indeed, these are all the actions of an assailant.
Which brings up another point, Makoto. Sayaka was the one who suggested you to switch rooms, correct? Maybe the reason she wanted to switch rooms was so that could pin the crime on you. That's a possibility, is it not?
Sayaka wanted to... on me?
That would also explain why she would switch the nameplates. She wanted to get whoever she had targeted to come to Makoto's room where she was staying, and by committing the murder there instead of her room, that would implicate Makoto. But for that to work, the target had to be lured out while still keeping the room swap a secret. If the target knew she had switched rooms, they would have become suspicious right away.
So all that's why she switched the names?
But doesn't that plan seem a little risky? For one thing, even if her plan worked, Mr. Naegi would just tell everyone they'd switch rooms. I don't know. I'm not sure how soft-headed Makoto is capable of that kind of cutthroat behavior. I'm sure Sayaka realized the same thing, which is why out of all of us, she asked him to switch rooms. Plus, she was the ultimate pop sensation. A totally forgettable kid or a national superstar. What are you more likely to believe? Wait then, you're saying she had this all planned out?
Holy shit!
But in the end, her plan backfired. She launched her attack with a knife, then found herself under attack in turn. That must be when her wrist got broken, and she was forced to drop the knife.
The tables were certainly turned on her, and she died at the hands of the one she'd planned to murder. Just hold on, that can't be true. Because...
Hey, you guys have totally derailed the argument. You're being super boring right now. Come on, hurry up and decide who did it. Wouldn't it be awful if I had to punish you all just because you ran out of time? Oh yeah, we gotta decide who we think did it. Makoto, right now you just need to concentrate on figuring out the answer to this mystery. If we can't uncover who murdered Sayaka, it's over for all of us.
Is it really all over? Obviously, I'm committed to finding out who killed her, but what can I do? I mean, as far as clues go, there's nothing left.
Danganronpa.